Hi there, this is Sue Condon, your friendly transitions coach. Have you ever wondered why the U.S. population is spending billions on diets and the obesity rate keeps going up? Welcome to part 2 of our 3-part series. We'll be answering that question and evaluating the success of popular diets, or lack thereof, and also learning about the science of nutrition so we can understand why diets don't work for most people. You'll remember in part 1 you learned how your weight impacts your health and how we have become metabolically challenged due to poor nutrition, lack of exercise, and continuous stress. Now let's look at the popular diets. We do have a solution, and you'll be glad to know it's not another diet. Let's look at the reason that popular diets are not effective. There's the calorie restriction diet. You know, just eat less, cut your portions. That's so easy to do, right? And the worst part is that after all that sacrifice, you're actually sabotaging your success. Then there's those meal replacements. And even though they're vitamin fortified, they're not nutritionally balanced. And studies have shown that 95% of people who lose weight this way gain it back within a year, and 97% gain it back within 2 years. And one of the biggest problems is that you're not eating real food, just like those meals in a box. And unless you continue to eat like this forever, you're going to put the weight right back on. How about those low-fat diets that became popular in the 1980s? All the food companies jumped on that bandwagon, producing low-fat versions of everything. And what do you think they put in to replace the fat? That's right, sugar. Maybe that's why the obesity rate has doubled since then. And you can't call yourself a dieter if you haven't tried one of those low-carb, high-protein diets. They seem to be too good to be true, don't they? Eat all you want and still lose weight? But statistics don't lie. And studies have proven that people who lose weight on low-carb diets put it all back on. Do you know anyone personally who lost weight on a low-carb diet and kept it off for good? I don't. And low-carb diets reap havoc on your vital organs. If there was a TV ad for the low-carb diet, the tagline would be, "May cause unhealthy pH chemical levels in the blood, which may promote diseases. Side effects include constipation, fatigue, heart disease, kidney disease, brain malfunctions. Consult your physician before starting this diet to determine if you are healthy enough to subject your body to this abuse."
You're making it too much of a statement.
So, what is the scientific reason these diets are not effective? Actually, diets that restrict portions or caloric intake below what we need to maintain our weight trigger a starvation response. Our brain, whose primary focus is survival, thinks we're in a life-threatening time of famine and sends a signal to the thyroid to slow down metabolism and hold on to the reserves. That's our fat. And that's why it's so easy to put the weight that you've lost back on again. Understanding the problem with low-carbohydrate diets is a little bit more technical. Your body's primary fuel is actually glucose, which is a simple sugar created when your body breaks down carbs that you eat. If you restrict carbs, your body will manufacture fuel by breaking down fat and muscle, which also eliminates water from your tissues. This process produces many health challenges, including stressing your brain, your kidneys, and your heart. And of course, the last thing you want to do when you're dieting is to lose muscle. We've all heard how muscle burns more calories than fat, and that's because whenever we move, our muscle constricts, but our fat remains static. So let's take this one step further. There are healthy carbohydrates such as apples, oatmeal, and beans, and what makes them healthy is that they're loaded with fiber and nutrients. When you eat one of these carbs, your body breaks it down into glucose slowly, and the rate is important. Glucose needs to be transported to your cells. The vehicle that transports the glucose is a hormone called insulin. If you eat unhealthy carbs, such as refined starches and sugars, and the glucose level rises too quickly, your brain sends the signal to overproduce insulin. And your muscles don't use all that fuel, so it gets converted to fat. Let's call this fat storage mode. When you're constantly eating poor quality carbs or restricting carbs long term, you can become so sensitive that any carb, even healthy ones, can trigger that fat storage mode. For example, let's say I went to Olive Garden and I decided to be good, so I ordered grilled chicken and steamed veggies. But what arrives at the table first? That's right, the breadsticks. I'm being good today, so I only have a half a breadstick. But my broken metabolism turns that breadstick into glucose rapidly. It's like I flipped a switch and turned on fat storage mode, and everything I eat, the chicken, the veggies, everything gets stored as fat. Back in 2005, when our team of doctors was putting together the Transitions program, the Journal of the American Medical Association published a study that compared popular diets. Atkins, Ornish, Weight Watchers, and Zone. What was the result? The bottom line was not very motivating. Only 10 pounds average weight loss after 1 year. No wonder the dropout rate is 45%. There was another evaluation of commercial weight loss programs like Weight Watchers, Jenny Craig, LA Weight Loss, and so on. And Weight Watchers was actually the most successful of these, with people losing 5% of their initial weight over 1 to 2 years. That's 15 pounds for someone weighing 300 pounds. Also, pretty dismal results. But the one glimmer of hope was that people who kept daily records and shared them with a coach lost twice as much weight as those who didn't. With evidence mounting against the popular diets, many experts have embraced the glycemic index as the solution. In case you're not familiar with it, it's a ranking system for determining the speed at which food is turned into glucose. Established in 1981, it's not new. But recent findings add a new element called the glycemic load to the equation, which takes into account both the type of food and the serving size. Leading expert on the subject, Jenny Brand-Miller, states old wisdoms were that sugars were bad and complex carbs were good, but the glycemic index showed that many carbs convert to glucose far quicker than some sugars. And with that rapid rise in glucose comes the rapid rise in insulin. And it's not just about weight either. Heart disease and hypertension have been linked to high insulin levels. A low glycemic diet combined with exercise, according to Brand-Miller, is the most powerful way to persuade the body to produce less insulin and turn off fat storage mode. Well, we're almost there. In part 1, we found out what fat has to do with good health. And now we also know some of the reasons why diets have been sabotaging our effort to get in control of our weight. In part 3, we put it all together. Boost our metabolism, burn fat, build muscle, and get healthy. You're less than 10 minutes away from never having to diet again. Don't stop now.